Okay, I've started the recording, right? So this is a systematic literature review for our Strides project that we initially did. And we have now 4 people in our team: Maniola, Antos, Shreya Som, myself, and Fanen Tardu. So this recording is especially for Fanen because he was not here in the meeting. So I'm just telling this initial for him, okay? Or him or her, I don't know, Fanen is he or her. Okay, so yeah, and I'm sharing this screen. And okay, just the background context, I will give you background context that when we did a position paper for Strides, we did a survey to invite case studies. And these case studies were analyzed, and we found that there are 5 emerging themes which show that it can lead to excellence delivery of education for sustainability. So, or that can induce some skills to the future students coming out of the education, whatever it may be, higher education or formal education or further education, or even we are including the education as a professional training or whatever. So it is a wider perspective of education. Even I think that the knowledge exchange during our meetings is also a part of education. And this all must lead to our understanding that how we should decide, or our decision making should be such that it should induce sustainable societies and economies. So it is a wide context here. And we thought that there were 5 emerging themes. Now we wanted to go back to the literature to systematically review all the literature and see whether these our themes are certainly what we have found, to triangulate that whether our themes are quite okay, or are there still other themes, or we want to reduce any number of themes, and so on. So we wanted to support these themes, and therefore we thought that systematic review would be important here, significantly important to support these themes. Okay, that is the idea we are having here and discussing. So the research question was, what case studies discuss the best ways of implementing sustainability education? And this is the research question we want to investigate through this literature review. So what are the latest innovative case studies or advances across disciplines to identify systematic transformation and resilient interventional drivers for education for sustainability? Or what are the novel approaches to leverage system transformation in the educational spaces that matter for climate resilient development pathways and SDGs and targets? So we had these 2 sub-questions. Should we write these? Now it is up to you two. Should we write these 2 as a sub-questions while we are having an overarching question of this? Or do you think we need to change something here? Can you see this properly, or do you want me to?
I can read.
Bigger?
It's okay for me.
Yeah, it's okay for me too. Yeah.
I think this is a better view.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's bigger now.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me, what do you think? If you can take your time to read and then let me know.
For the third question, so the third question is a very specific question where we focus on climate resilient development pathways only, right? So that is so when we are trying, so for the first question, what case studies discuss the best ways of implementing sustainability education? So it's a broader umbrella.
Yeah.
And the third one is a very narrower version where we are only seeing climate resilient development pathways, right? So maybe these two are very different. So we can just separate these two questions and then try to approach our study.
Yeah. So do you mean that we should have two papers?
Yeah.
Two
So,
papers?
yeah.
Oh, okay, wait a second. What are the latest innovative case studies or advances across disciplines to identify systematic transformation and resilient interventional drivers for education for sustainability? What I thought, it could be something like this. That
So, yeah, go on.
Interventional drivers in education. Okay. So within the case studies, we are trying to find what intervention they did, and therefore it is called an innovative or advances. All right. Like it was just physics, but then it became applied physics to climate change, something like. Yeah. So and applied physics. So what intervention was made to make it applied physics? Right. So it is an advancement. So they brought in practical laboratory or some, I don't know what it could be, but it would be some practical element they brought in, for it became an applied physics. And that physics was to understand climate change. For example, the pollution of air pollution, right? Something like that. So then that intervention driver we are trying to find out. So what was the intervention? So that, you know, when we talk about our 5 themes, we I think we can put here 5 themes for understanding also. So 5 themes, I will try to find out where they are. Just for now, one is environmental education. I will have to look. Just let me find out.
Renuka, I remember that we talked about.
Your voice is too low.
One moment. It's better?
Yeah, yeah.
We talked about last meeting about living or having these 5 themes as criteria to our analysis. So
yes, as a outcome, exactly. Yes. And that's why I'm reminding our outcome so that we can go backwards.
Okay.
Exactly. That we are bit cheater here, I know. So can you see my PowerPoint at all?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So that is one. So let me just write down. My computer is slow, I think. Anyway, so it is writing. Yeah. Okay, so first one, then second one is critical pedagogy for systems thinking and design thinking. I'm repeating this mainly for Shreya to be on our on the same page. Transnational education. And synergies and trade-off of reaching the sustainable development goals. And whole school pedagogical values. Okay, so what I'm thinking here, that when we find case studies, first of all, we have to find case studies related to sustainability educations, right? That will be our umbrella. From there, we are just trying to find what intervention drivers they did. So let me take out these because that is already covered in here, right? In the first one. And then whether these interventional drivers, so we'll talk about interventional drivers, and then we will try to identify whether they were for climate resilient pathways, whether they were for SDGs and targets. Two things. So what will happen that when we are talking about for education for sustainability, probably this we will capture environmental education, or even for climate change, we will capture environmental education, right? Then, and within this all like systemic transformative and resilient things, we will capture 2 and 5, I think. And then translational education, yes, because that will be again SDGs and targets, like we are trying to identify what are the difference between which countries and so on. So translational education is important, so that we can do. And here also again with the SDGs and these 3 and 4, probably we'll try to identify between these for these SDGs and targets. I believe that should be our analysis. What do you feel? So let me just write down for now. We can change everything when we go through the literature. We may not find the same thing what we are expecting and so on. So here, maybe we can identify theme 1, 3, and 1 and 3, maybe, yeah. Yes, and here interventional, like for systematic transformation, this whole, I think, if we are trying to find, we will find overarching theme. Two and 5. And this will be theme 3 and
4.
Yes, 3 and 4. So what I'm thinking, they will be interrelated, definitely. So this will be theoretically, mainly theory, explaining theory. Here also it would be theory. And this will be more on practical side. And again, this will be also more, this would be like theory. And Of course, there will be theory for everything or practical for everything, but I'm just thinking that this will be theory and practical
Examples.
And,
So 3 will be mostly based on examples, right?
yeah, we can. Yes, so that is practical examples.
Yeah.
Practical, and this will be also theory and practical. And this is and yeah, and I think this will form how we will go forward. This will give us some understanding how we want going forward.
So for the first theme, environmental education with practical projects, why we are only considering climate resilient development pathways? We can also consider the mitigation part, right? Like emission mitigation pathways.
Yeah. So climate resilient development pathways will have mitigation and adaptation.
Both. Okay.
Yes.
So because when we use the term resilient, we basically go towards adaptation. So I was thinking why we are not considering mitigation here.
No, yes, you are right. But we for climate resilience development pathways, it is development as well, So I think mitigation and adaptation will go hand in hand for anything. So having technologies and other things which would even nowadays when we are changing the topology the floodplains and other things, then that is also a part of technology mitigation, but
that is
adaptation, like it goes hand in hand. So that's what I thought.
No, so I was actually telling this because of the keywords. So if in keywords we only mention climate resilient development pathways, so we will get papers which are mostly from adaptation. So that's why I was thinking maybe we can add something mitigation. Yeah.
Exactly, Shreya. So now we are coming to this point. This is just
the broad.
We are trying to understand where we want to go. Okay. Now the real work is definitely you are expert on those. You have to tell me what we are going to do. So tell me now. So what is the content value of the literature? We also thought about these questions, and maybe now Manuela. Sorry?
Can be Santos if it's easier.
I know. I want to understand. I want to speak the name, so I'm trying to practice. Manuela.
Noela.
When I put my brain, I do it. So yes, now you can lead the conversation, what we did and what you want to tell, and then Shreya can input whatever is missing.
Actually, these topics, it's something that we discuss, and we should define. How can I say? Choose which one would be part of the review. So we talked about maybe this separate in 2 or 3 works because it's too broad. Like I agree with Shreya. Shreya. Like this. Shreya. Almost that. I will learn too. Shreya. And I think that this conversation may lead to 2 works. So these topics we were thinking about to lead us to formulate our question to the review. So we are thinking about what's the content or the volume has been done, trying to find a number of cases, which case exists in the literature about these questions. here the themes and the hypothesis, it's what Dr. Renuka was telling us. To identify outliers, it's because maybe in the number of the papers we found, there are other themes that are not those 5 that we have here. So maybe one of our outcomes is those outliers. Whether the further research need to be done. See, here is the where we are finding this instead of these case studies, if it's in papers, in master degrees, dissertation or thesis, in books, and give a weight of the rest of the papers. It's which find the papers that are really relevant to these works. I don't know if we use the index, the index, or the impact in the climate resilient development. This is something that we should decide to structure our question.
Say that again, sorry. Give weights to the rest of the paper. So what you meant by that, sorry?
Can you repeat, please?
The last point which you made. Can you repeat, please?
Give weight of the rest of the paper. It's which case would we choose if it's based on the relevance of the paper that it's public, or by the weight that that case have in the climate resilient development, you know, like the outcomes that those cases have, not where they are published.
And how we gives a weight to the rest of the papers. So how we establish the weight? Do you say that through the citations or?
The citations or the index, how can
yes, impact of index, of the journal article and all that, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So which case should we choose? Do you understand, Shreya, up till now, or you have any question?
No, I understood.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So by citation or impact ratio. And what is the further research needs to be done? So again, that will be identified from 4, I think, from 3 and 4, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes. Now parameters.
We are define and we are choosing where the research would be. It's like this.
Yes, exactly. So the papers, articles, where are the publications?
Yes, where would we search for it? So
yeah.
where we are searching, if it is Scopus,
yes.
Web of Science. And I think that in the occasion we choose Scopus because I think you have access to the articles. I don't remember if you or David.
I have access to everything. So okay. Web of Science also we can include if we want.
I don't know if you have.
But would that duplicate? I think Scopus has the maximum, isn't it, or not?
25% papers basically differ. So there is a study that have seen whether Google Scholar, Scopus, and Web of Science provide all the papers, like all the papers which are common, but then they find 25% of papers are different. So we can both Scopus and Web of Science.
Okay.
So was I able to explain?
Scholar? How about Google Scholar?
So Google Scholar will, so if we give any search word in Google Scholar, so they will provide lots and lots of papers because they generally search within the text as well as title and abstract. So that will be a lot of work for too few people of us.
Okay, so Web of Science is good. Is Web of
Yeah.
Science good?
Yeah.
Then we want both Scopus and Web of Science.
Yes, we can, yeah, we can use both. Then we can download the paper and remove the duplicate papers.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we are having both, and then journal articles, and then we look at the authors. I don't know why we have put authors.
I don't remember either. I don't
I
remember
don't think
what.
we need authors, isn't it?
No, I don't think so.
Are
I
we
think that
trying to
maybe
see
it's
if
others, because my word is in Portuguese. Maybe when I was typing was maybe
Yes,
others.
it could be others, right? Yeah. Okay, don't worry.
Time of the next one, I think that we can have a big period. We choose those one because for the analysis, to see if have breaking points between the publications. But I think by the search, to the search, could be one period only, and use those years to the analysis.
Exactly. So let us make it now 20 to 21, right?
so do we not want to provide any reason for choosing 2000? Because so we are talking about sustainability education, right? So maybe we can link to SDGs. So we can say that in 2015 we got our SDGs. So the SDGs were accepted. So we can start from 2015 to 2021, the period. And if we are selecting 2000, then maybe we need to give a reason for that.
Well, that is a good question. SDG is correct, but the environmental education has been from long, isn't it?
Yeah.
So probably just we are saying 20th century.
So is there any way to find out when basically the environmental education subject got hyped? So then we may be able to find out the year and start searching from there.
That would be difficult, isn't it? Then that would be a targeted thing.
Yeah.
Also. So, but how about 21st century? Because 21st century was always told that we want to change, we're going to have this problem. So let us say 21st century, and
Okay.
this is exactly, so let us make it 2001. Yeah. And 20 period is quite long to understand what is happening in an educational system. Yeah.
This is what you said,
Shreya. Yeah.
I think that the search will show us that maybe we don't find any study of case before 2015, 2000. Maybe we just find after this date. So I think that we can have this range and see what we found.
Okay.
And make this a point in our analysis.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah.
So yeah, okay. See in which year we find the most papers and apply for analysis, right?
Yeah. So we can plot a graph and like a bar chart and see when it's the maximum. Yeah.
Plot.
Can try to relate to this event, like if we have more papers written after, we can try to match,
Yeah, relate. Yes, yes.
relate some events that happen those years.
Yep.
Compare between years. After 2015 is SDGs and before.
Yeah.
Just putting an exclamation mark whether this is happening or not. That is what we will try to understand. Okay. Area global.
Global.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And language only English.
Yeah.
So maybe we can include because many of the papers are very common in say Portuguese language, but the abstract is written in English. So we can say just because we are going to read only abstract initially.
Mm-hmm.
And if we see that the abstract is really important, in Portuguese, we know that one of our coordinator has started this educational movement, environmental educational movement from long, since 1990 to 90.
Mm-hmm.
And it has been widespread, that type of education worldwide, in Thailand and many other places. So we don't want to lose that. So can we have that initially abstracts all in English? And if relevant, we can dig into the papers.
Yeah.
If you want, I can read in Spanish too. So if we find something interesting in Spanish, we can include.
No, but I'm saying abstracts will be in English only. So those papers who are very really nice, they are always as English part. So we can filter those things first. And if we think that that is really interesting, then we can ask any of our coordinator to translate for us few things. Because we have plenty different coordinators with different languages.
But do we get enough enough non-English papers in Scopus and Web of Science?
I would say that in Portuguese we use another base.
Yes, Manora or something, isn't it?
Sorry?
A Manora or something, very different name, starting with M. You have a different database, I know.
Yes, we have another one. Other than Scopus, it's Cielo.
Cielo, okay.
And have Spanish in South America. We use Cielo, so we have journals from Brazil and other South America countries. So the major publications are in Portuguese and in Spanish. The abstract is in English. But
yeah, exactly. So I think we will pick up abstracts only first. Let us stay with that because we know English, and then we can dig into if we have specific interest in some papers, then we will dig into it.
No, I was just saying, agreeing with Sarah that for a journal in Portuguese or in Spanish, we should search in Cielo, because it's the base where the journals from the most journals from Brazil and South America are in. You know, but we can stay with Scopus and Web of Science because they are widely spread. More than Cielo, that's more local.
Yeah, I think we'll have to scope something, isn't it?
Yeah, perfect.
We spread it so much that we won't be able to complete things, right? So let us say
abstract.
Yeah, abstracts, and then may look into the paper if interested, right? Relevant.
Regarding area, so we will search for, so we will not put any filter. So we are not searching by country. So we will get all the papers. But what we can do is after reading the paper, we can write down the country name if it is based on a country, and then we can map, plot and see whether which country is specifically focusing on this sustainability education.
Yeah, just as what we do with others, we can also do country.
Yeah.
All part of analysis, right? And just a formation of table.
Yeah.
Or a graph. Great, great. Okay.
The same thing with the authors, so we can see the net,
network, yeah.
The networking.
Okay.
But these days papers are written with lots of authors. So maybe one paper is written by 30, 40 authors. So then how should we network? So we can just consider the name of the first author, and then, so for all the papers, name of the first author and their country, and then we can do the networking. That can be, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So only consider first author.
And there is another thing that are done these days. So they pick up the keywords of the paper and then they plot that. So trying to see, so which keywords are used for sustainability education. And then they try to map that and see which keyword is used most. So we can also try to find out the keywords. So also, if we download the files from Scopus, they already provide the keywords, so it won't be a problem for us. So it is easy to do.
Okay. So this will be automatic, or like for analysis purpose, you are saying we will start?
Yeah, it will be automatic. For Scopus, I know it can be downloaded in Excel file, but I'm not sure about Web of Science because I don't have access to that.
I think Web of Science has the same information that Scopus when you download.
Okay, okay, perfect.
So we will be analyzing from the keywords and going to other things, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So the keywords would be the first variable. I mean, it will be independent variable and others will be dependent variable.
So what I am trying to say here is for systematic review, there is a portion called descriptive statistics. So whatever files we are downloading, we are trying to see the files are from which country. So that is area, the networking between the authors, that is this authors. And then finally, the keywords. So what type of keywords they are using. So we can make a nice word cloud also, which will help us to see the frequency of the most used words.
Do you think like this, right?
Yes, yes, exactly.
Okay.
Not English. So you can put this English language above descriptive statistics. Just 1 second, I need to close the window. It's very cold here.
And how is it? Please. Is it hot?
Too hot.
Yeah, so you are in South.
I am South. I am in Paraná. Near Irene.
Okay.
I'm really close to Irene. I live in Toledo. That's next to Cascavel. I live in Toledo. That's
Toledo. Next to Cascavel.
Yes, that's right.
Exactly.
Where Gustavo lives.
Sorry?
I live where Gustavo, in the same city as Gustavo.
Okay, where Gustavo is. Okay, all right. I'm surprised. I don't know. Did you come to the workshop in Brazil? Foz do Iguaçu?
That was in Foz do Iguaçu?
Yeah.
I wasn't there. I was traveling. in the occasion.
Okay. And that's why we never met.
Yes.
Yeah, I
You
was
know,
there for 4 days.
I actually I work in Foz do Iguaçu, but I lived here in Toledo.
Okay, then do you drive every time or you are working from home?
I drive now we are working from home, but
Yeah.
I drive too. So I go on Wednesday and come back on Saturdays, and the rotations, you know, like I do in online in the other days.
Right, right. Good, good.
From which
Okay.
country? You are from which country?
Brazil.
Brazil.
And here it's really hot. Yesterday was for 37, 38 Celsius degrees. I don't know how it's in Fahrenheit.
Yes.
I don't know what.
We
Yeah,
say
yeah,
the
it's
same,
Celsius.
Celsius.
Yeah, we also say the same. Celsius, yeah.
37 degrees and was, but I think that the sensation was over that, much
Muito
higher.
quente, isn't it?
Muito quente. We are melting, you know, like you do anything and you're melting. It's horrible.
Okay.
Here also during summer we melt. It's terrible.
I
It
know.
reaches 42 also. It's very hot.
Yes, I know. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on because then I will have to go for another meeting.
Yeah, I also
yeah.
have a. Mhm.
Okay, so we have decided on keywords and abstract title. Yeah, keywords.
So this keywords education is okay. Sustainability. So should we give sustainability or sustainable then an asterisk? So it will capture all sustainable. We just want to see sustainable education, right? So why don't we write them together? Because if we put education and sustainable like this in Scopus, it will provide lots of papers. We are only trying to focus on sustainable education, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what?
I think we can delete case studies because many of the papers these days don't mention case study. Sometimes they mention only study or maybe just mention.
So will it be like this? Just
No,
sustainable education?
it will be so the spelling of sustainable will start at L, then there will be this asterisk.
Sorry, I lost your word.
So delete E. Delete L, delete E. Then put the star.
Okay.
Yeah, and then after education also you delete the star.
Okay, so just this.
Yes.
I remember that we talked about put or choose case study because in the first meeting we are trying to find just the case of studies. So was that the reason? But we can just to say why was there.
No. So yeah, I understand your point, but what I was trying to say is we will make case study as our selection criteria, but we won't write that as a keyword because then that will fetch us less studies.
Yeah, exactly. That is right because they do not write in the abstract case
Or the title.
They may just write explanation or anything like that, right? Yeah, that's correct. Okay. So criteria must have be.
Just sorry. So for keywords, we are only having one variation, sustainable education. Are there any other words that are used for this, for representing sustainable education? So we can write all the words. So sustainability education within inverted commas, sustainable education within inverted commas. So we don't put the star. We just write different forms. Are there any other words that we can write here? So I'm
okay. I'm going to share this paper on Google with you too. So you can put this. So I will just say insert keywords. Shreya. Okay.
Yeah.
Homework for you.
Having if we come back to the questions, maybe we should have another keyword. I don't know if resilient or resilient path that it's that is what we are trying to find in those papers, because sustainable education would come to, I think, a huge number of articles.
So what we are trying to see specifically, we are trying to see the climate part, right?
Not only climate, economics also could be there. As you see, we are talking about synergies, SDGs, and many other, like social change, and many things other can be there. So
while preparing the okay, so for preparing the keywords, we need to focus on two things. One is what are the interventions that we are trying to see, and what are the outcome that we are trying to see. So that we need to decide, and then based on that we need to prepare our keywords. So criteria we can prepare. Yeah,
I will leave you to do this, right?
Okay, so we can work on this document and try to find out.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just one thing before we finish the meeting. Will be those two questions, because this will define our keywords to the search. So we must have write down the final question or questions. If it's one or two, so we can decide which keyword we will use to do the study.
And I'm happy to change these words of our question and anything. This is just the starting, our driver to find out things. If we want to change here again later, we can change. But the idea is that.
So let us start with the first question. The first one, which says that what are the case studies that discuss the best ways of implementing sustainability education?
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
So let us just give one search using sustainability education and sustainable education and see the number of papers. If those are huge, then we can bring in more, more filter like climate resilient pathways, mitigation, and then we can reduce our focus area and try to formulate the research question accordingly. So we know that we are trying to see climate resilient pathways, etc., etc. But let us first just give a primary search, and then we can decide on the, that will be fine. So, then we can decide.
Can I tell? Primary search will be sustainability education or sustainable education, whatever we decide. Then within that, we can go again and again. Like for one time, we will just say climate. And find out. Then we can again go into that primary search and put SDGs and find out. Something like that. And then we can also compare whether we are duplicating or whether those topics and so on.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna have one primary keyword and second ones, like
our first and then second search.
Yeah, so the first one that we will start with is sustainable education, and then we can go for further search after another meeting, maybe. Yeah.
Primary. Okay. And then we are having a research, like second layer.
Yeah, second layer of search, where we can bring in the interventions that we are trying to see.
Yes. Fine. And then we will later on do this.
Yeah.
So this is our start, and when we want to meet next, let us say 2 weeks or 3 weeks. After 2 weeks, 3 weeks, what is a good time for you to meet?
Maybe after 2 weeks, because the whole of March I won't be available. So
for me it's okay.
So you meet before March, that is what you say, right? Okay. Let me find out a good time.
Would be 9 February.
Okay, let me just find out. what am I doing on 9th? Yeah, I'm good at 9th. And what time shall we do? Shall we do 12 o'clock?
Um,
It
12
would be
o'clock.
3 hours after 3 hours after today. Like today we started at 9, but 3 hours later.
Okay, so 9th, I won't be available. I have a meeting.
Okay, and
So
then
can we somehow meet on Friday or Saturday? Will that be
Friday is
possible?
better.
Like,
Friday is good.
yeah, Friday is best.
Okay, I can do Friday 11 o'clock.
Yeah, Friday is good.
11 o'clock, Friday 11 o'clock is good.
Yeah.
11th.
11th is good for me. It will be 8 o'clock here. It's great.
What did you say? Sorry.
That here will be 8 o'clock, so it would be great.
Okay, yeah. All right. I will send this 11. I will send the meeting later as I close this Zoom. It is not allowing me to set up meeting at the moment.
Yeah. It's
All right. And I will share this.
We work on this paper, on these documents to
Yes.
the next.
So we will just
Okay.
give a search. So we will provide a search and then we will just check what are the papers that are coming, maybe 10 to 20 papers. We can just see the title and then we can try to refine.
Okay. Whatever we do, write down here on the note.
Yeah.
I have done this. I have done this. So we don't repeat. And for Web of Science, if you want me to do it, tell me what I should do so I can do it. Okay.
I will send we will prepare the keywords, the search string, and
whatever you do, I will repeat in Web of Science because you don't have that access, right? And so I will do that. You will have to tell me what to do. We are on the same page. And whatever we do, we will put it in the same folder. So that folder will be shared to you. So everything lies in the same folder.
Yeah.
Right?
Let me ask you, Terry, you use EndNote or Mendeley to download? Mendeley, I use Mendeley too. Mendeley, we can share the the file in Mendeley.
Okay.
So what I was planning is we can just download the Excel file, and that Excel file provides you with all the information. So the keywords, the abstract, so we can filter from there instead of downloading and making our Mendeley very heavy. We can just download the Excel file. Will that be okay?
Okay.
Yeah, that will be perfect, right?
I think a local Excel file will be better for now. And then later on, when we want to put references, we will work on the reference manager.
And we will also have
I use what is that? EndNote. With Web of Science.
It's very similar.
Yeah, all are similar. I'm okay with anyone. It will be just depending on the journal, what they are using, and we will have to transfer that later on at the end of our publication, isn't it?
Yeah, but EndNote needs subscription, right? Mendeley is free.
What can I do? Right? What can I do? I can share my subscription, like username and password with you, and we can all put everything in the EndNote.
Okay, but will that work with different IPs? With different IP address? I don't know. But okay, we can decide about that later on.
We will. And if is needed, because it depends on the journal, even on EndNote, sometimes it does not fit into journal, but if it fits into the journal, that is not a problem later on. So let us work for local file at the moment. And because that will be common to everyone, and do not worry about the style and those things at the moment for referencing. That we can work out at the final thing, like when we are doing the final version.
Meeting. Okay, perfect. And have we decided about any journal?
Not yet, but we don't need to worry about it. Many calls come up, so we will think of it. Yeah. Because I might ask, I have a provision of asking a free journal article from my university. So we will do it in a way that it goes open access immediately. So wait for that. I will make an arrangement for that.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much. We will meet on 11 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank
Have a
you,
nice-
Manula, for 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
No worry.
Bye-bye.